where are the rest of these companies now?
Well, I'm hopeful that our results from the first quarter will cause the other car companies to enter the electric car arena in a significant way. But until now, they didn't really have a good basis for that, because they would look at, you say, well, what are the examples of successful electric cars? I mean, we did have our Tesla Roadster out there, but they wrote that off as being something that's really low volume, kind of a niche product for techno geeks type of thing, and so they wrote that off, right? Yeah, so it's actually funny because before we were able to get the Roadster out, then they'd say, well, you couldn't possibly make that car work. And then when we made the car work, they'd say, well, nobody's going to buy it. And then people bought it. And then we announced the Model S, and so many people called bullshit on that. It was ridiculous. And yet, actually, we were able to bring it to market. And then when we brought it to market, they said, well, you're never going to be able to produce it at volume. And we did that. And then they said, you will never be able to make a profit. And then we did that in Q1. So I'm hopeful that people will observe that there's a trend here. And if so now that we have been profitable, I think other manufacturers are more likely to embark on electric vehicle projects. And it should also be mentioned that we do make electric powertrains for Daimler and Toyota. Mm-hmm. So for the electric RAV4, we make the battery pack and powertrain. For the Mercedes B-Class that's coming out later this year, we'll be making that whole battery pack.
Are they open to that? Do you feel as if they're open? I mean, a lot of the, you can paint the car companies any way you want, but do you feel as if they're open or thinking about that?
Yeah, I think so. The challenge is to convince them that it should be more than just a little niche product.
Or a hybrid or something like that.
Yeah. Well, Toyota obviously is quite big on hybrids, but to convince them that electric cars should be a mainstream item, there's still a bit of work to do on that front.
And until they're a mainstream item, in terms of having enough of an infrastructure of charging, obviously you've done a lot to help that problem with range, but still people want to feel like they're not going to be stranded, that there are going to be charging stations. And I know
Yeah. We've got an announcement about that tomorrow, in fact.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
You want to announce it here, now?
No.
You've just sort of let the cat out of the bag. Might as well just...
Well...
Because you're so quiet and retiring mostly.
Right,
that's why.
exactly.
You never do anything, just mouth off at a New York Times reporter, for example.
Right. Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, so we have something called the supercharger.
Right.
Which is an advanced charging technology that we developed. Yeah, I guess I might as well let the cat out of the bag. Why not? So the supercharging technology is something we developed because obviously traditional charging has been way too slow, and it's not effective for long distance travel. So it is very important to address this issue of long distance travel because when people buy a car, they're also buying something which is a sense of freedom and ability to go anywhere that they want and not feel fettered. So we had to make something that was really quick to charge. So that's what we developed. And there are actually a bunch of them out there now in California and on the East Coast, from allowing you to go from Boston to DC and travel throughout California and Nevada. And what we were going to announce tomorrow is that there's going to be a dramatic acceleration of the supercharging network. Mm-hmm. And by the end of next month, we will triple the supercharger coverage area.
Wow.
So